Collins is down. Look at it again. Well, was anybody to blame, or was it first Ben Bunching? Collins all on his own, and referee Sam Bass should be right in saying a rerun with all four. And here is Nielsen coming back in for the restart from Denmark. Stor, uncompromising rider from Birmingham in the British League. And they do seem to be having some trouble on the start line, and that's ridiculous. Nielsen has ridden right across Kenny Carter there, and the start line marshal really is not inflicting the discipline. They seem to have settled down. They don't like getting in these ruts. You can see there that Carter's stuck right on the inside. They can snake away from the start. The rerun, and Nielsen is still impatient. They must settle down, and well, Nielsen has gone over the tapes. Well, the bike seemed to be completely over the line. He ought to come out of it. They can't have this kind of nonsense in a world final. And the referee, Sam Bass, agrees with that. Let's look at it again. And that's remarkable. I've never seen a rider fall off within a bike length of the tapes. And now the fun begins, the phones. And here's Kenny Carter. Let's listen to him.
No, Sam, listen, please. On gate one, there's a big rut, and I went in that rut, and he went in the middle on the rut, and then he come right on the edge where there's nobody been on gate 2, in front of me, and he was on my side. But if you look at the gate, there's a big rut where I was, and everybody's been in that rut. Yeah, okay.
Well, where have we seen Kenny Carter on a speedway phone before? He's on the phone more times than Busby. Here's heat 10, just 3 starters. Carter on the inside, all on his own. He'll have no trouble this time. Collins and Gundersen way out on the wide outside. Here we go for heat 10. And it is Gundersen from grid 4 who gets away. It's a long run up to the first corner here at Guglielmi Stadium. Gundersen leads it for Denmark. Second place is Carter. Collins in third, and Carter is finding grip and drive and is bucking and rearing as they hit the pits turn. Gundersen leads it. Second place Carter. Collins is third. And, well, the Danes holding on, and Gundersen doing well and beginning to stretch the English pairing now. So Gundersen still it is, and if they stay this way, it'll keep Australia in the lead. The Australians never won this title. Carter is not making any inroads at all onto this lead. Gundersen stretching away into the bottom corner. Looking back there, and he's in trouble there. He looked back. I think he was worried about it. Carter has time to go through. He saw that gesture there, couldn't conceal his delight, and suddenly the world is smiling on England, because the Danes, who were jointly in second place with them, have lost both their riders, and these are 5 gift points, and they'll be very welcome for the Lions. Over the line goes Carter. Second is Collins. 5 gratuitous points, and that takes England into the lead. Well, let's watch that incident again. You see Carter sees Gundersen's gone, knows there's no danger here. Watch this little gesture. Oh, he's cocky. Well, they've had 11 heats. Midway through, you can see England and Australia breaking away, USA and Denmark on 10 points, and the other 3 really out of contention. Heat 12, England versus Australia. The scores at this stage, England 15, Australia 14, so everything to go for. On the inside, Sanders. Next to him, Carter. Grid 3 has Guglielmi on the outside. It is Collins, and it's an even break. And Sanders moving out high from grid 1. And that really was an interesting tactic. And getting a rare old knock there was Guglielmi as the English pairing piled through on the inside. Billy Sanders leads it. He's unbeaten individually so far. Second place is Carter. And now Collins and Guglielmi getting in a tangle. But this is the Aussie number 1, Billy Sanders, up front, and he is looking quite magnificent. Clearly it's interesting to speculate on that start from Sanders. He came out of grid 1 and moved right out to middle track, and that's exactly the kind of tactic they employ at his home circuit, Sydney Showground. Guglielmi, very similar to Sydney Showground. It's a big racing track and a very long run up to the first corner, and Sanders is clearly enjoying himself and relishing these conditions. He was third here in the individual final, we recall, in 1980. Now back with Ipswich, where he spent the first 10 years of his career, and is obviously relishing being back under John Berry's wing there at Vauxhall. He looks a different class rider tonight. Billy Sanders winning heat number 12 by a mile, but the English pairing packing in behind him, so that keeps the status quo. The Australians 1 point behind, England hanging on in the lead by just 1 point. Heat 15, the reigning champions, the Americans, in decline. England on 18 points, 1 clear of Australia. There's the lineup. And there is the break, and who is it to be? To get to the corner, Collins squeezes out. Schwartz, Sigalos has rounded everybody. Sigalos leads it for America. Second place, breaking down the back straight is Collins. Third is Carter, and Schwartz, the American skipper, at the back. Sigalos looking back for his partner Bobby Schwartz. The Americans have 10 points so far. They're back in 4th place, bidding of course for a hat-trick of successes in this event, but they haven't really looked so dominant tonight. Still Sigalos, another Ipswich rider, and the English pairing just blocking the path of Bobby Schwartz. This beautiful stadium, there's what, about 6,000 people here watching in the sunshine. It's rare to have good weather in Gothenburg. It normally rains here. Track conditions, well, it's very, very slick. It's dusty, as you can see, not really conducive for overtaking. When a rider of Sigalos' skill and ability and speed gets in front, he really does go quickly and builds up a big lead. He's going to win Heat 15, but England will be happy to settle for 3 points here. You can see Sigalos, the showman, going over the checkered flag on his back wheel, but the Americans not that happy. Heat 16, the Australians have never had a better chance of winning this title. They have 17 points. England have 21. They're in against the unfancied Germans here, and so it's Australia versus West Germany. Sanders it is who breaks clear in the white helmet. Partner Guglielmi is going with him, and Sanders is down sensationally, and it's a miracle they missed him. There is Billy Sanders. Oh, what a clanger. That could cost the Aussies this title. We'll look at it again. And Sanders just finds a slick patch. He goes down. How did the Germans manage to miss him? He's a lucky lad to be in one piece. And Billy Sanders back to the pits, excluded as clearly being the cause of the race being stopped. So the Aussies, who have never won this title, just having one representative, Gary Guglielmi, on the outside here, Karl Meyer on the inside, Egon Müller in blue. Away they go, and Guglielmi is ruthless at the start, straight across the pair of the Germans, and almost knocked Karl Meyer off. And Guglielmi clearly means business. He's in front. Second place now, Egon Müller. Third place is Karl Meyer. And the Australians, who must have fancied their chances of taking 5 points off the Germans, which would have overtaken England, just have one rider left in, and Guglielmi's doing all he can to keep their flag flying. This is big Gary Guglielmi from Coventry in the British League of Maltese descent, coming into this Australian pairing. Rather surprisingly, really, most people fancied that Phil Crump would get the nod, but Crumpy said no, he didn't really want to ride in this competition, and Guglielmi certainly hasn't let Australia down. Time to look back over his shoulder. The Germans, of course, more at home on their own 1,000-metre long tracks. Both Meyer and Müller have been champions on the long track, and they can't get anywhere near Guglielmi here. Still, it's a fortuitous move for England. They were lucky against the Danes, and the Australians giving away points really there. 3 for Guglielmi and 3 for the Germans, but England still in front. Heat 19, Denmark versus Australia, and really this could be the battle for second place. England have 21 points, Australia have 20, and Denmark have 17, and away they go. And it wasn't a really even break, and it looks like, indeed, well, who's to show? It's Sanders who gets away. Guglielmi is there moving between them. It is Nielsen. It really was a close call around the first 2 corners. Difficult to see who had made the break. Sanders, it gets clear. Nielsen rode bravely to split the Aussies. Guglielmi is third, and Billy Sanders has shown a great deal of mastery here in Sweden. Nielsen breathing right down his neck here in heat 19. And the English pair will be watching this one carefully, because with the Australians now first and third, they'll know exactly what they've got to do. The Aussies would have liked to have set a higher target. Nielsen, the man who's done the damage. And Sanders holding off the challenges of the Dane. Into the last lap, spacing themselves out. All the action really here around the first two corners, when Sanders did well to ride the line. And he really does look world class here at Guglielmi. Clearly back in the top reckoning. Billy Sanders has been brilliant, unbeaten apart from a fall. Goes over the line. Third place with Guglielmi quite vitally. There is Sanders, the winner, shaking his head. And I know what he must be thinking. He's done all he can, and that inexplicable fall against the Germans has left England with a clear task, because they come into heat 20, the penultimate race, needing 4 points to overtake the Australians. They must finish first and third. They're in against New Zealand, the old campaigner Ivan Major there in the white helmet in grid 2, Collins on the inside, Carter grid 3. England clearly know they must get first and third here to be assured of the crown. The break, and who is it? It's Major, who just hits a corner in front. Carter trying the outside, Collins down the inside. Here come the Lions, Carter around the outside. Major just holding on and squeezing out Peter Collins, but this is enough for England. And Kenny Carter goes clear of Ivan Major, of course, who is his manager. And the English fans in the crowd now beginning to raise a beat. Carter, time to look back. He really has established a commanding lead here in heat 20. This is Carter from Halifax, of course. Collins is looking back for him, and Peter Collins really has some pressure from Larry Ross, his Belgian teammate. And Carter comfortably in front, still looking back. Waiting and saying, come on, Peter, you've got to get moving. Let's have a look at the battle. There is Major clearly in second place. Now, where is Collins? And more important, where is Ross? You can see Collins just holding on into the last lap. And Carter is comfortable, and Collins now seems to be well set in third place as well. And England are going to take this world crown surely, unless something disastrous happens. They last won it back in 1980, and they've won it now 6 times in 14 years. If they could just hold on, and Carter goes over the line, England have done it. Collins picks up the third place point, so England back on top of the Speedway world. Well, they had their moments of good fortune certainly early on, but England have done really all we could have asked here. They didn't start favourites, but there's jubilation in the camp. There's Kenny Carter, a world champion at last, this young man who's so often been the bridesmaid. There's Wally Maudsley, the manager, who said he wanted to win everything. And the congratulations now coming, and it's nice to see Bobby Schwartz, the American skipper, there first to congratulate.
Well, England have had a very lean spur recently, and it's very heartening to see them world champions again. They win this world title by just 1 point ahead of Australia. Denmark finished in third place with 19, and the defending champions America could only manage fourth place with 18 points.
Well, lads, many congratulations on a great victory. You said to me before, Kenny, that the confidence was there, you were going to win. Was it that easy?
Well, in the end it turned out easy, but we had a lot of problems on the way. And we had the luck, and I'm just so happy that me and Pete won and that England won in general, and just hope that England can win the Grand Slam this year and bring it back to England instead of America like they deserve.
Right, Pete, how was it for you tonight?
Well, it went very well. Early on it went very well for us, but it was a very, very open final. There were so many good riders in it, and you know, I said before we started that there was no way it was going to be won with a maximum. A lot of points were going to be dropped on the way, which turned out to be the case.
Lots of reruns tonight. Was the track all right?
The track was pretty slick, you know, very difficult to overtake, but we managed to get the points where we needed them, and we just did enough to win.
Well done, lads. Thanks a lot. Go and get your prize.
Thank you.